Hello。今天外面有够热的，热到不行。原本想说等一下要出去玩滑板的，结果不行，真的太热了，而且滑板场只开到7点，我实在是不想要。就算现在5点过去好了，5点半，然后花1个半小时，然后就回来，我觉得算了吧。话说上次后来，我把就是上次的录音就是用我买的麦克风来录，但是我后来不知道为什么听起来那个声音小到不行就我用线上的那个麦克风测试，声音就很正常，然后听起来都很干净。就现在，然后后来我就看一下那个直播的设定，我就会想说是不是说，因为我之前那个声音比较糟的时候，我有设定说，该怎么讲？就是设定说把它，就是有一些音效的设定，然后可能把它降噪啊之类的。然后我现在就把所有的设定通通关掉，就完完全全的原始设定。天啊，电视机声音有点大。我真的现在超级无敌受不了我的滑鼠，它会点2下的问题。我觉得回台湾我要买滑鼠。好，来回顾一下发生什么事了。其实上次玩已经是快2星期了，你看我现在就是有时候会这样。我这样夜店都还没开起来吗？好，我所以我游戏时间其实才过1个礼拜不到好，找朋友。所以我这个是离开然后再进来的意思吗？好接，就好像没什么特别的，就需要就讲讲话。Joyce。地图到底要去哪？我这还可以。随便念一个好了。超多点数的。Well， 然后干嘛？
You got us in, cop! I can't believe you got us in!
With wonder in his sharp eyes.
Between you and me, I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious of authority. But you really came through for the hardcore underground.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. A cell using her contact mic to listen to a tree underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat, while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the bass. Sire, the tent, 'twas a security risk, and in here, sanctuary. 'Twas only noble of you.
Okay.
It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more. Dead bodies are perennial plants. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total. I saw some piglets suckling their dead mother. Have you heard this one, cop man? After a short while, they shuddered and went away. They had sensed that she could no longer see them and that she wasn't like them anymore. What they loved in their mother weren't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is an high-quality carcass. The power of anodic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it. A Sarais man who lived a long time ago, an ancient hardcore brother. A 3,000-year-old tyrannical regime of history, built and maintained by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. It's false core.
The way he says it, the force in false core, is invested with 20 kilotons of disgust.
I only said unity. One word. Figures of authority always misquote you. Andre doesn't care about the Ecclesiastes. He just wants the operation to run smoothly. And Egg is a demi-beast. You shouldn't listen to what people say. You should listen to what they are. But were you wrong? The founding party is okay with everything. Look around. They don't have enough love for the human crew to oppose anything anymore. We're on our own. Anodic dance music. Regular dance music wasn't hard enough. And yes, I do. That's right. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it, on the coast here. Was one of the first things they did. Must have been really scared of something, but I understand. Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves and nature. Pre-industrial quantities of solitude, the sea, perhaps something more fundamental. I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well. Maybe they were unable to face the nature of the world, perishing. A cop who's into building critique. Okay then, this is folk DeLoreanism, lawmongerer. It's a subset of early DeLorean architecture. Art of core. Total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just an homespun version of it. Folksy stuff. Early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out? Like that woman there. Vertical, thin, white. A false image of grandeur. The source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures. Arches, spires. Put you down with them. They were really into painting everything white too. Virginal shit, you know. Married shit. Virtue and tyranny. Right. Stands to reason it used to be white on the outside. before the sea wind took all the paint off.
Year after year, flake after flake, whitewashed clean, then covered in green moss. It was probably white and gold with light red flower motifs. Part of you, assumed to be lost to nerve damage, knows this style to be Ubi DeLoreanism.
Good catch, Art Cop. The herdsmen of the Ubi Sun Islands come here on the first boats. Their flowery version of DeLoreanism could be what we're standing in.
The Ubi are known for their partiality to socialism and sheep. They come from an island called Ubi Suunt, drifting in the Pale off the coast of Vespa. It's the only place in the world that has a question mark in its name. Things are not well there. It's an island of poverty and anthroponetic collapse.
I don't. Fuck are giving me the evil eye. You defend her, law minion. She was a mass murderer. What's up with that?
Mellow, man, mellow. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love.
Mass murder on the floor!
No one says Arno van Eyck is a mass murderer. The Anodic pioneer Rietveld is not a mass murderer. He is not accused of mass murder. Likewise, no one says Jermaine Egghead or Andre are mass murderers. You can live entirely outside that suspicion. Billions of people go about not being guilty of mass murder. Just not her. Humanism leads to eating sugar and pigs. Humanism was invented to mass-produce billions of humans. Billions of humans can mass-produce hundreds of billions of pigs.
And many, many more tons of sugar.
She liked games. Her legacy, the thing we live in, isn't real life. It's a strategy for some kind of victory against a long-dead opponent. But, yo, I'm only annoyed. What do I know?
所以我忘记他这个人道主义的逻辑在哪。
I like this question, Cop Man. She did not live the life of a human. She lived like someone who's playing a game. The life of an operator. That's not the life that humans live. She was adored. Humans aren't. I don't know about you, but they hate me. And they do not think I'm innocent or some shit like that. Well, they loved her. They put all their love in her and forgot all about the rest of us.
What a strange choice of words. Caustic, overflowing with negativity. That can't be healthy. What's happening here? Why do you keep coming back to this window? Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't come back to this anymore. Stop talking about it, please.
I don't say much anything as a carpenter anymore. They tried to make me into a reckoner and a leveller. Made me a bit manic, you know. I regret the time I dedicated to that profession and that worker collective. I say things more as a member of the hardcore side dance community these days. The material knowledge is mega though. Guild shit. Teaches independence.
我觉得我居坦应该又会受伤，但是我很想知道会发生什么事。
Hard to say, Cop Man. Signs in here are distinctly wild. Gonna take a while before everything's properly synced. I did get to talk to the crab man though. Anyway, he's been giving me kind of a psychic rundown of this place. Dude's seen some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us. Talking to him, I realised that sobriety can be pretty hardcore too. I gotta respect it. The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about the church. I got a lot to learn from him. Good thing you didn't squash him. The Crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things. Things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubies built this place about 320 years ago as a sarcophagus. Not like a literal sarcophagus. I'm just being metaphorical. Encasement, confinement of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isla. I think that's what the Crabman is experiencing when he climbs around upstairs. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubies had heard about. I thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church, surrounding it, to contain it. I don't know, and it's not something they properly understood either, what it does. But it's what this Sona person is looking for, and trying to measure. It'll be fruitless though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All those things they really can't. Seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like substance. Like a concentric ring spreading out, the struggling villages. And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of failure has gone down around here. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. It's not a thing we can answer, Copman. Even I have limits. I'm a limited psi person. Maybe you can figure things out, Copman. I think we got on a good level here. The signs are syncing up well. They're hardcore. They're just clothes. It's just a style, you know, normal hard style. Anyone can wear it.
我好像需要先想办法把心智升上去，就我是喝东西就会先戒了。心智。
What's on your mind? Dead body, spirit entered. What is there to talk of? The mass murderer? Why? There is. She is a party repellent and must be taken down before we can begin partying in here.
The speed freak's eyes narrow with suspicion, as if he's looking at a man possessed.
It's not coming down. People are gonna love it. It'll be like our thing. Plus it keeps the cold and the rain out.
The world spirit does not have a body. It has organs. Hardcore is an organ of the world spirit. This Arno van Eyck track is an organ. The carpentry and glass cutting that built this house are also organs. She's a thief, if you ask me. An organ thief. All innocences are. Okay. I don't fucker giving me the evil eye. You defend her.
Mellow man!
Mass murder on the floor!
Okay. Sure.
我好像应该要一开始就直接跟他讲，先讲对。不然先去跑别的任务吧。我到底要去哪里才可以找到海quân的男子啊？还是我必须要星期天才找得到他？就是照片，我觉得照片也是很烦，也找不到第二个人耶。我要先去讲。讲一下诅咒。
Hello again, esteemed officer. What do you mean, the actual source? Are you here to lecture me about economics again? What?
She wasn't expecting this. At least not the word intraponetic.
Ma'am, what he's saying is true. We found an anthroponetic anomaly in the small Pinewood church down the coast. I don't mean to be an alarmist, and more research is needed, but it's not looking good.
But that's not in any of the ancient texts. How am I supposed to protect my bookstore from that? You're right, officer. I mustn't lose faith, especially now that Annette is finally settling in at school and making friends. No, we can't just leave. Besides, didn't I have some Sailite hope catchers round here somewhere? I must find them. Everything will be all right if I can just find them. Thank you for your help in any case. You're welcome back here anytime.
那我买东西有没有折扣啊？
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
我觉得我还是不要自寻死路。我是需要，我好像需要拿个手电筒，太黑了。手电筒。
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? I thought we agreed that the curse isn't real. I'm listening. Excuse me? A 2mm hole in reality? This can't be true.
I'm afraid it is, ma'am. Sona Lukanen killed the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident made the discovery.
Sona is involved in this? So it's even worse than I thought. It's not just the commercial area that's cursed, it's the entire world.
She looks outside the window where daylight has filled the yard.
You mean considering the fact that the world is collapsing on my porch? In any case, thank you for stopping by. It's good to have an answer, even if I can't claim to understand it fully.
天人感应
I'm listening. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
我看一下我们加天人感应的东西，有没有试过？有。没意外，应该只有一个东西会加，就不要剪就不错了。啊，我印象值，我感觉起来，哦，好吧，我错了。天人感应，天，哦，确认一下没有剪的，没有剪的。
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty
我的话术，天人感应，
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Aside from getting naked, you're not sure.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Aside from getting naked, you're not sure what else to do. The build.
No, 我好像刚刚要喝个啤酒。开心。 签名我已经拿了，所以先去回报吧，不然。
The bear's eyes are dead.
像有些什么。
Both cables are unplugged. Somewhere in the dark. Somewhere a machine. An old call box. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area. Silence. No one. Nothing happens. Up. Silence. Silence. They have failed. This button.
This button looks new. I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been connected yet. Is it the dice makers?
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Revachol. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away. The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting. Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hat. Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on the world. Humid, your coat shields you from the rain while the city shivers around you. Sheets of rain over the water, a flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinaise, with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky. The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows. Urban coastline, rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs. Cinder blocks left over from half-finished construction. A defunct research and development building, once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water. Coal City, end of all lines. Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash from neighboring coal plants. Smokestacks rise somewhere in the distance. The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide. Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within, and immeasurable poverty in its shadow. La Drusienne, King Drui's passenger harbor. Cruise ships flanked by dock arms, cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary. Couronne, the lower middle class. Distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off into the rain.
7层楼的建筑。
A silvery curtain of rain over the houses. The class divide. You have never been there. They don't need the law east of the river. Capeside apartments. Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls. Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. Radios play. The news at noon. A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised. The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution failed. Standing in the rain, looking north, where
I have a brother in the cut. Where the wood at?
in the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct, your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes, making you look up and Coalition aerostatics hang like apparitions under the cloud cover. Way up there, where rain forms.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. At least we are dressed for it. Let's keep moving.
One. 自动储存。所以我如果一开始天然感应很高的话，我就可以直接这样看全局地图。咯。咯。天哪！我到底要什么才有办法问事情？比较合理是要问这个人，他觉得我太菜逼吧了。
The unpromising, race pupil, racists are generally not welcome to Revis. He must think redhead. I am. The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogen. Correct.
Correct. 我好像只能可以去睡睡觉这样，然后看一下明天会不会更好。
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you.
要不是真的不知道干嘛的，就不想招惹他。
Mr. Dubois, everyone, the golden boy returns once more. Wonderful, simply wonderful, Harry. My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a real future, Harry, and I feel I can finally trust you now. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Oh, really?
Well done, sire. By guile and deceit, you're in. You don't know his full plan. Perhaps he expected trickery. Perhaps the signatures weren't important. The point is, do not think you're ahead of him.
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done. An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy, the one he described as terrifying.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway, the neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
Shay?
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
We might be looking at someone with a medical history here. Watch out.
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
海岸边的鱼市附近。
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
I did not, Harry. Although I am very, very glad he's dead. Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war. I have. It's a great story, Harry. Did you also know how the bee colony kills the giant hornet? They swarm and blanket it entirely until it suffers a massive heat stroke and dies.
He crosses his hands contently, thinking of the interior temperature of the wasp rising.
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste. Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait, is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not gonna give nothing. We're gonna take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're gonna take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance. Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Actually, no, it's not.
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening. $2,372, plus yours truly, of course.
And not your boss.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol.
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients who'll ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities. The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
In bulk shipping, large volume column is a major buyer, a shark.
We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his benefit and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share, and I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
You know why you're such a good detective, Harry. You don't get sidetracked. You care about the people you're supposed to protect, not some systems that may or may not be unethical. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbor's turnover, just like the harbor is, but a small part of Martinez. Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's gonna be in on the wealth, and everyone's gonna pull their weight. Harry, the length you're willing to go to keep your nose clean is remarkable. You will always have a warm bed in Mr. Clare's household, my friend, and a special place in the future of Martinez. We're way past specific Union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big-time mode, Harry.
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big-time mode.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it. Reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce. Harry, imagine a youth center supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on. And I knew you were one too, Harry. Right when you rolled into town. I've got the center, I've got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years I'll get the church too. The wheels are turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain. And then there will be a giant statue of him towering above it all.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
A true flash of anger in him as he thinks of her.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union. This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open. I'm always happy to educate and entertain you, my... Very nice, Harry. Is there anything else?
猪猪女侠今晚我真不是很喜欢他，但是该怎么讲，就他抗命主义其实就是那种有点共产阶级的味道，但就是如果你的确不想要压迫劳动，你会想说哦，好像这是一种解决办法。但是问题是，现在是你如果没有那种阶级的存在的话，那就等于其实根本不会有人想要做什么底层的工作，就是有点矛盾。
This is the night what?
其实说难听点，就是自己不想要当坏人，但是又一直这样子压榨着其他人。先不掺这滩浑水嘞。所以我要嘛就是等这种东西啊。
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help?
你我谁可以问此情啊？ 找 Kuno， 好久没见 Kuno， I was still there。Kuno 应该不会影响我吧
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck about it? Your tech. Get lost. Kuno.
Communication fucking care。我觉得打不开门这件事情让我很痛苦。
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Hey, was there something you needed? Another thing. Great. Yes?
Yes?
Again? I can't believe this shit. Okay, why not? So, do you know who hanged it? I don't know. Oh my god, that...
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
The lieutenant, hatred, the woman on...
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first-name basis. Pig's not half as...
You're back. Good. What? I fear I've told you all I know. It's an Oranese map of the waterways. The sailor's soul would quite a few.
What next?
Then he made his Revachol.
The old...
You said you...
I can't.
For that fort? For that... For all the boys looking for an event.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
Of course, Detective. You can always... Of course. Of course. How else can I help? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. "We always do."
You? You're an officer of the RCM. Preciso Mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
He's being sarcastic.
We are.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know. when we are out policing.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, nothing more nor less.
Yes, we.
Yes, that means not. Permit me to conclude with this. And if those authorities drink, glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
刚刚也这么没话说。我就觉得我可以直接把所有的基点都爆掉了。6点。我觉得我好像没事做，是真的只能靠看书打发时间。
The door is closed. You hear someone.
You.
Try to sneak up.
我觉得反正我很多钱去买，再多买几本书后，随便打发时间后，我现在也只能先等到晚上。我很好奇这个桌游。
A small mountain of colorful board game books.
Wonderful choice, sir.
In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game, Suzerainty. It's snugly wrapped in a skin of plastic. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grinning laborers loading goods onto a ship, while a richly dressed administrator oversees their work. The exact location and time period are left deliberately vague, but it's clearly meant to represent the economic relationship between the Revacholian suzerainty and its many vassals. The box has a nice heft to it. You hear the rattle of individual wooden tokens and feel their weight shifting back and forth. Even before you open it, you can tell that this will be a meaty game of grand strategy and complex player interactions. The plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bodice in a tawdry historical romance. There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside, you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components. Savor that new board game smell. A mix of wood, paper, and ink, all wrapped in the sweet must of cardboard. Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy for the whole family. The rulebook is sumptuously illustrated and thick as a Gradian novel. The colorful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples, and harvesting a strange magenta-leafed plant. Everyone is smiling. You begin to suspect There may be a political agenda to this so-called family game. Only one way to find out. The instructions are opaque at first, and introduce many concepts you're not familiar with. Fortunately, there are many diagrams and examples throughout. You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator for the suzerain of Revachol. Your objective is to increase the suzerain's wealth and renown by accumulating victory. That's where the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations, each one home to an economically important resource. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they... As you leaf through the pages, your eye catches on a sidebar labeled, and remember, there are many paths to victory in Suzerain. Boring, boring, boring. Tear up this rulebook and commit some old-school atrocity. The actual scoring system appears. The lieutenant looks over the...
Holy shit. The average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours. I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game.
What? Does the lieutenant hate? The lieutenant gives you a sour look. He may or may not.
不行，我要玩桌游，循序善诱，循序善诱要怎么弄上去啊？善诱，升级。桌游。
The suzerainty box is heavy. Have you tried?
In your dreams, maybe. I thrashed my
Ignore the mock umbrage. Now he wants to prove it to you. At this point, plain badgering may be.
All right, detective. You win. How do we play this game? I see you bring the same unorthodox technique to playing board games as you do to detective work. When I thrash you, I want to make sure it's by the book.
The lieutenant flips through the manual more quickly than you're able to keep up with. Then you eat. In the center is the crown of Revachol, apricots from Safre, archaeological treasure. There's also a neat little log. The lieutenant goes first.
All right, detective.
You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts right away, or rearrange your workers to maximize production on future turns? Remember what the rulebook said. You'll want to choose a strategy early on and stay committed to it. You draw a contract card offering a number of coins in exchange for archaeological treasures. You place all your workers on the Ilmarat territory.
Not bad,
but not good enough. As he completes his own contract card, the lieutenant is rewarded with 4.
That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points. Don't worry, it was mostly just luck. You learn some points soon enough. Points are nothing. They don't exist. They're just an arbitrary convention that came...
If points are really arbitrary, as the lieutenant says, what's to stop you from playing the game the way you want?
There are some paranoid types who believe the moral intern keeps detailed score sheets for everyone. Otherwise, no. There are no points, just your actions and the consequences of those actions. That's just the way it is. Now, I believe it's your turn.
Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you to survive a possible conflict. Those aren't your... You could also show your workers how much you appreciate them by investing some of that wealth. Well, sure, you can do that. It's just not a terribly effective strategy. But then, it's up to you. Who cares about workers or territories when the real action is in Revachol? You spend your turns fulfilling contracts. After several turns, you place a cylindrical piece of wood on the Revachol section in the middle of the board. This is more or less what happened in real life as well. To this day, if ill...
Well played, detective.
Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively. For several turns, you struggle to respond to the lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. You draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a lot. You know, this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revachol. Well, the suzerain was looking for new... By introducing cocaine into Safre under exclusive contract, the suzerain created an extremely valuable captive market for an extremely addictive product. If you could somehow get the lieutenant's workers addicted to your cocaine, yes, you can. You've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the lieutenant's aggression? With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant. As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Saf.
More or less.
Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit. Protection, the end game is upon you. Do you escalate or do you ignore his aggression and focus on building the mighty victory column structure? Alternatively, you could throw the whole game away. The choice is yours. Building the ultimate structure requires diligent economic planning. Rather than build a glorious monument to Revachol's...
A risky gambit, detective. Sorry it didn't pay off. That might have helped. Now, let's...
Computing the final scores is almost, after double, then triple checking.
I've got 26 points. Don't be glum, detective. There's always next... Now, let's clean...
You hold the open game box. You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards. Each cardboard token makes a satisfying... As...
What? You're not going to offer to let me punch any of them out?
In addition to the worker and building tokens used from the Empire of Safre, orange apricot tokens from Il Marat.
Oh, those are nice.
You hold the open... A small mountain of colorful board.
If you say so, but you better stay...
Large letters on the front. Text underneath the title in smaller type. Mysterious thing. None of that witless... Yes, the Wirral setting is known for... A blurb on the back reads, succumb to a world of high pasternal fantastique. Unleash... Exactly. In no time, don't forget heated argument. And most importantly, never forget to rage quit if the dice don't go your way. You pry open the box. A reprint of a... It doesn't seem to correspond with anything you see. A quick guide. The options are in order. The Welkin. Tall, lithe, and graceful. The Welkin come with a grand race. The Tueog. They're just humans. A very small race. The least popular of the Wirral race. It's made from... You don't know much about dice, but this one looks pretty damn. You place the die into your pocket. You see a man...
Huh. Interesting. A communard. One of the leftist revolutionaries in the anti-centennial revolution. The figurine is not a part of the real game setting. I guess someone misplaced it during the... I have a feeling the figurines are more there to set the scene than anything else.
You pick the figurine up by the base. A colorful box.
所以我现在又多了个东西可以去献给了那个教堂吗？伸手缩放比例子。感觉很没屁用哎！我要缩上比例干嘛啦？看的比较多这样。
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks.
Oh yes, certainly.
The cover of this tattered paper behind him rises the back below, a brazen attempt to bilk fans. Their main concern. The back below, a brazen attempt to the story by nightfall. 9 to rebut. The writer hasn't. It is physically and with deadly finesse. A few chapters. This book, The Northman, the man from Heimdall extracts a high price from the desperate king. What do you mean? Because the flame of what do you mean? He doesn't even have a. He is. What are you? A book critic? Enough. What? You skip past in the scent as the swiftly, in an instant. Oh, for fuck. When the din of battle. What? In the first scene, an excellent. Consider the man from here. You know the story by heart. The edges of the pages. You open his arms. Good God, this. You flip to the copyright. Berserker rage. Man from the edges of the page. You open his arms. Good God, this. You flip to the Berserker rage. Man from here. The steel muscle. A passage. Thine spell. I have grand. This. What do you even know about it? This is not just. You open his arm. Good God, this is some ritual. You flip to the Berserker rage. Man from Heimdall. The steel muscle. A passage. Thine spell. I have grand. This. What do you even know? Man from here. You open his arms. Good God. You flip to the Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eye. Man from here. The steel muscles. A passage. Thine spell. I have grand. This is beyond. What do you even know? Man from here. You open his arms. Good God. You flip to the Berserker rage burn. Man from here. The steel muscle. A passage. Thine spells. I have grand. This. What do you even know? Man from here. You open his arm. Good God. You flip to the copyright. Berserker rage. Man from here. The steel muscles. A passage. Read. Thine spells. I have grand. This is beyond primitive. In the final, to find out what, you open his arms. Good God. This. You flip to the copyright. Berserker rage. Man from here. The steel muscle. The edges of the.
好，现在就可以。找蜘蛛女侠。我这会儿他妈又跑路。哦，其实我可以用键盘玩的。蜘蛛女侠。也不懂，他是说是在这一次还是什么时去？还是说在哪？于是附近。这吗？
Either sea's gonna calm down soon. Oh? Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
是这边吗？不是还要过去？谢谢，我根本不懂他说的语式是。
The woman, look, girl child, you hear her?
Huh? What is it? What do you want? Of course not.
The Boyadera, Boya for short,
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a Of course not.
In the background, you can hear.
So the Boyadera strangles his beloved and throws her body in the mouth. You have to understand. Yes, go.
枪，这枪的东西，不会是
？Hello again, officers.
Try to sneak up. 到底，所以真的是另一边，这边那边没有东西啊，所以我只能去。我现在突然变走超慢。我觉得有设定怪怪的，它有时候会， 我刚刚不用按 Shift， 它就会身上是有东西。我刚刚不用按 Shift， 它就会跑步，结果现在变我要按 Shift 才会跑步。所以那个是东岸，就是反正右边是没有蜘蛛女侠，所以我只能来这边。村，木板刀应该不会举这个吧？可以了。女侠，猪女侠，太难了吧？难不成他的今晚还不是今晚？
A few locusts trudge along the wall. Poor things.
Poor thing.
Put your hands where I can see them. Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands.
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shake. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
Failure to comply. Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer, under duress! Officer, under duress!
Her eyes bulge with terror. Veins protrude on her forehead.
I am the police. Don't move. Don't move. Hands on your head. Suspect is on the loose. Suspect at large. Officer, administer street justice at our own peril. That one extra lick with a baton or extra knee strike above was what was actually required. Suspect is under control.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
The situation looks bad. Calm yourself. Steady your breathing. You'll have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before you do.
It's the goddamn police shitbag. Cut the pavement. You're under arrest.
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine or drugs?
Confiscated contraband. Restricted access. 2 kilos missing. Eyewitness report compromised.
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
Officer in need of assistance! Suspect at large! Get on the ground!
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot! Big red key! Big red key!
Big red key? That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk. You know this.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Status unconfirmed!
No. I thought Mr. Moran. Gareth!
Aggravated assault! Man down! Officers in pursuit!
There's a scenario unfolding in her head right now. It has nothing to do with what's happening here.
What's the situation, officer?
Law enforcement compromised! Impersonating a police officer!
Does she not believe you two are actually police officers?
License and registration! License and registration! Come in, dispatch! Sector! Azimuth!
It's not a code, just disjointed words.
We can't leave. A delirious civilian is pointing firearm at us. Your fire.
Here's the plan. Shine the light straight in
immediately
dart right. The light will blind her, allowing you to close the distance. Left hand grabs the barrel, right one breaks the wrist. No, that won't be necessary. Look closer. The gun, all three barrels, red and blue light shining through. It's not loaded.
Huh? My God, I think you're right.
What? This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. What is this? Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
Grab the gun, right now. This might be your only chance.
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
This limbed-and-headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is grinding to a halt. Tired of walking the desert, it doesn't want to feel or think anymore.
Forward. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this. Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8. And loneliness. Yeah, looks like a bad case. But
her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without the gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family. Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late and they might have already gone home. But I think we're done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
Reflex to what? Being left alone? She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and fleshes now. Maybe if you search her once more.
Search.
The woman stands slumped. She looks catatonic under her mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Is one of those things a police cap? There were narcotics in there too. You're thinking of taking them. She doesn't even flinch. as you reach out and disentangle the familiar-looking lieutenant's cap from her mountain of RCM paraphernalia.
Oh, is that yours? It's your hat.
The old woman doesn't react.
我获得一顶帽子。喜得2个装备。
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm. It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official.
I'm so sorry. 先这样吧，我累了。哎呦，这可以点那么高哦。先这样吧，挡。终于把所有东西都找回来了。